Hi everyone. Today, another episode of UXbytes main task. We're going to be discovering what should you do with your hero section and why it is important. But I'm going to keep it simple and letting you know why hero section of your homepage is so important. It is actually the first handshake with your customers and your brand. So whenever they land on your homepage, and believe me, I'm not sure how deep you are into analytics of your website, but believe me, a large segment of your users from organic traffic and other channels, they are landing, especially the returning clients, they are landing on the homepage. And the first section of your brand, of your products and that you've built so far, they see is this particular part of your website. My job here for this UXbyte this video is to show you what are at least 3 ways you can improve the hero section of your homepage so you could start making more revenue and taking even better care of your customers and their user journey. So thus, please let our viewers know what is the option A for them and when they should be using this.
Okay, so this is the kind of brand that really let user feel the lifestyle. So after they have made the purchases or after they have interacted with our brand, how does their life changes? So this is a very good example. Let me tell you, this is a very good example of a hero banner that sell the lifestyle, that sell the outcome of what really happens to their lifestyle once they have done business with this brand, right? And when it talk about, I'm a big fan of copywriting. I'm a big fan of how the copy is the most human thing, apart from the images, of course, right? I mean, second best, right? That the most human thing to pursue, to convince, to persuade people into not only buying but also making some value in their life, right? And this is one great example. So you would see that they have a big one lifestyle image that gives them the context, that gives them the understand of how that furniture, how that piece, how that product would look into their lifestyle and how that would change their life. So how the new normal would look like for them, right? You see big picture, some copy on it as well, and you would see that they have kind of progress bar in the bottom. So there are 3 different images that changes over the time, right? And that tells the notion, that gives the notion of the user of how different context would come into play when they do business with this brand, right? And give at least 3 different use cases for them to consider, right? And then you would see that they're not really focusing on buy and getting them to buy their product, right? So they are actually giving them 2 different buttons. And it's good that they're not focusing on the buying journey itself, and they're letting user without any strings attached know and understand that, okay, so they can explore the products, they can explore the collection, as well as see what they have in store for them. The very important thing is that fit check, you would see that the vertical button right on top of the image, the right side, right? So it also gives the user a more, I would say, less unhinged way of exploring the website, that okay, so the brand is not really looking after my money, like they're not like looking for my money only. The brand is actually adding more value. It's helping me to explore what really works for me in my space, in my house, in my home, in my lifestyle. So that is also very important. And from the conversion point of view overall, I think those logos, the press logos, also add a lot of proof, add a lot of trust factor for users to keep on interacting. Because just like you mentioned, Gary, the hero banner is the most important thing. Like, that's the elevator pitch, that's the first handshake, that's the first glance, and that really tell people what they should be feeling about your brand and about your vibe. And now, since we have a lot of Gen Z people out there, and a very different kind of behavior also wrapping up and getting to build up with new kind of users who really are the internet age, have lived the internet age, right? So we have to consider all type of people and users and really understand what the vibe really is when they look at us, when they interact with us, when they read the copy, explore our collections, and why do we need to explore, like, all that kind of stuff. So I feel that this is one of the great examples of a good hero banner being designed. Is it really caters to all kind of users. It doesn't really focus on the people who are really there for the buying of it itself, but people who might be your future clients, and that is the fit check is about. Let's see, Gary, what do we have on the option B?
Yeah, let's see for the option B, but I would just add at least one thing to the option A, and just probably that's going to be a little bit in general. So as you mentioned it yourself, and you said it so beautifully, the brand and the branding and the positioning that you have about your brand isn't something that you build, and that is how you see it. It's how your customers see everything that you've built. So you might view it this way, but it has to be like your customers who read and scan and see your brand this way. So you should be very careful with this, and ideally ask for the feedback loops for your customers. So, and that is applicable to any website and any variation, ABC, whatever we mentioned. So the point B, the option B that we have for you today, and I would love to make a little note. I just had a therapy session yesterday, another one, like one of the hundreds that I've already had. And my therapist, she told me that she keeps noticing these days people are getting more and more lonely, and they feel bad about this. And this is a very good trigger in a good way, and this is a very good leverage for brands to make connections with their customers, not just try to manipulate them into buying decision, into selling them something, into trapping them into subscriptions that they forget about and just kept getting charged. No, you just, whenever it is applicable to your brand, whenever you feel that you can have this connection, whenever you feel that you can build this intimate connection with your customers, please do this. And this is a very good example for if you have this beautiful opportunity when you can have the copywriting, when you have the emotion, when you have the feeling, when you have the connection, and most importantly, when you know something, when you've done your analysis and you know your buyer personas, you know what are the words, what are the expressions, what are the images, what is the copywriting as you study yourself task, what are those leverages, what are those pieces that make up the entire story on the hero section that will make just one mission for the hero section. It just keep your customers pushing to the collection pages, to the product pages, whatever the journey is going to be for them. So this is a good example when you have high consideration brands and your customers needs to be understood. They need to feel that they know what I care about. A very good example, a much better example, as when you have this opportunity, when you have those categories, especially when you have those filters, that is how you can filter your segments, your customers. And when you have this beautiful opportunity, you should definitely leverage this, because it is a kind of a playful gamification of the choice for your customers. So you kind of trick them, you kind in a good way, you move them to the decision not to buy but to explore. And that is the whole premise of the hero section. So I would advise you to have this variation and design it for you whenever you feel that everything that I've just mentioned so far is applicable to your brand. But if it isn't, we have an option C. So let's see what we have for this particular brand.
Okay, so this one is another great example of getting something out, a product out that is actually conflating with existing belief of people, really hitting the existing belief systems of the mass, right, the consumer. So, and again, my love for copywriting, again, you see, so the copy says mood boosting beer without the alcohol. So it really tells people that, okay, so this is not your usual beer, it's not your usual beverage, it does something different, and it's completely different thing, right? So it's not an alcoholic beverage, and what it does is it boosts your mood, right? I mean, that's the whole thing. And the design of it, I mean, look at it, portrays the collider can, that it's a very divine something, right? Like a divine revelation. And the colors are very soft. It has those golden colors that actually is part, the very integral part of the beer itself, right? And very very upfront CT as well. What does this brand does good is it really help frame a different problem whatsoever, or really not frame a problem, but really tell people the problem that they might not even know, that okay, so there could be a non-alcoholic beer that tastes just as good as all other alcoholic beverages and beers out there, but it also boost your mood, right? So what they also does here is that they have, with this new concept, new belief system, they have given a testimonial right up front, right above the fold, so that people would know that okay. And that testimonial, if you read that copy, that also is a very good testimony. I'm pretty sure that that's a real user, right? But what that testimonial does is that really answers all the confusion points or questions that the user might have, that how exactly is it different, and what the points that any new user might have, that okay, so I was at the start, I was not sure, but this is surprisingly very good, like it tastes very good, it tastes very smooth, and all that kind of stuff. And last but not the least, they have given some visual cues, and they have these icons that really tell that okay, so this is not, so the stigma against the alcoholic beverages, and how to tackle that, and how to really position yourself in contrast to something that is being stigmatized as well as being so popular with people. This is really what Collider has done beautifully here. And obviously, they have some logos as well, some more trust factors and some more triggers proof as well for people to try this one. See, they have really checked all the points in this one snippet. And that is the reason, I like the good copy, a good storytelling, and everything around, playing with the human psychology and making, not really playing is a negative word, but let me rephrase it, making sure that the people really get the most out of it, really tell the whole story, really understand what the product is about, really tell the value that this brand stands for. Beautiful, really. Okay, so that would be it for today's session, and I hope you have gotten a lot of good value out of all these three different options. Now I would iterate again. There is no one size fits all. You would have to see the kind of users that you are catering to and what really fits you well. However, even if you have a slight confusion and slight ambiguity whatsoever, we would be more than happy to help you. Please drop in any website that you want us to look at, and we would be more than happy to help you with it. We will be sharing some feedback, and we might also have to get on call with you to really navigate and understand your problem and improve your brand. Until next time, see ya.